first person, oh, I saw this on TV, it must be safe, and anybody can do it, because every doctor was doing it at the time, and it wasn't really the case. I learned to do my research and try to make sure and really give it a couple of years if it's some kind of a new procedure out there.
Welcome back. You're watching the Dr. Nandi Show. Now, at the top of the show, we heard briefly from a young lady who was looking to slow down the aging process, but her initial efforts did not go well. Here to share her story is Renee Vandenstock. Renee, thanks for being here, by the way.
Thank you.
So start from the beginning. What happened, and why did you get into cosmetic procedures?
Well, I was, I think, 35, and I started to do some glycolic acid peels and things like that, trying to maybe preserve some of the sun damage that, or get rid of some of the sun damage that I had acquired over the years. That started it, and then as time...
Did you get a lot of sun damage as a kid? Did you?
I did.
Because it was an era when people didn't really...
Right.
Nobody emphasized getting any sunscreen, right?
I don't even think they had sunscreen when I was a kid, or if they did, it was called suntan lotion. So there wasn't such thing as sunscreen.
It was called suntan
yes,
lotion.
Yes.
It made it worse.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Right. So I could tell with some freckling and some things that I had going on that I was probably, at high risk for lots of things to come. So I decided to be a little more proactive and do some things that would help with the aging process. And so I started glycolic acid peels, and then started to go from there into some laser procedures, and basically had some bad experiences as well as good ones. So
how many procedures did you have? Do you know approximately?
Well, I've been doing things. I'm 53 now, so I've been doing things for quite a few years now. I'd say
you're 53. You look great.
53. Thank you.
Awesome.
So I guess what I'm doing is working, but I have probably a few things a year, definitely Botox, hyaluronic acid fillers, maybe once a year, laser procedures 2 or 3 a year for getting rid of brown pigmentation and redness.
How do you start with this? So, for people who are out there wondering, I don't do that. Mm-hmm. How do you start with this, and where did you hear about it, and where do you, what makes you start thinking, I want to do this now? Did somebody tell you about it, or a friend tell you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things are on TV all the time. A lot of, I saw something on Oprah one time, and I thought, oh, I'm interested in this laser procedure. I want to do this. So I think there was a lot of, I was always in the media, watching things and hearing about new procedures. And so, I worked in the medical field too, so you hear a lot of things amongst coworkers.
And you said, let's try it. And and you had kind of a bad experience, huh?
I did. I had a bad experience. When I was 39, I decided to have a procedure that was radio frequency, and the procedure was at the time going very high levels, and I went with a high level. I didn't know. The person who did it on me did it at that level, and then afterwards I started to get kind of gaunt in my face, and people were telling me that I had lost weight, and I would get on the scale. I didn't look like I lost any weight, but I was looking thinner in my face, and I did a little Googling and found out that there was a side effect to this procedure, and that was fat loss in the face.
And nobody told you about that, did they?
No, they didn't really know about it while I was doing the procedure. There was a lot of women who had the same problem as myself.
So what'd you do when this happened? You actually went there to look better.
Yes.
And then you started looking worse. So what'd you
do? Well, I, continued with talking with other women and trying to find out if there was some sort of repair for this, because I understood that it probably would get worse over time. So I started Googling some doctors who did fat grafting and things like that, and I found Dr. Yoon, who did some surgery for me to help with that. So it definitely counteracted some of the loss of fat that I had.
Yeah, and so now looking back at your experience, for people who are thinking about getting all these things done that you had, what would you tell them? What advice would you give them?
Definitely give it a couple of years if something new comes out on the market. Don't jump on the bandwagon right away. First person, oh, I saw this on TV, it must be safe, and anybody can do it, because every doctor was doing it at the time, and it wasn't really the case. I learned to do my research and try to make sure and really give it a couple of years if it's some kind of a new procedure out there, before you do it, and then make sure that they work all the bugs out.
And huge, do your homework and find out who's doing it. Mm-hmm. And what did Dr. Yoon do differently than others? I mean, did he approach you differently, or was it the same as everybody else?
I hadn't seen a lot of plastic surgeons for the repair of the fat. I did see a couple surgeons. I he was highly recommended to me from a doctor in California. He was moving to Michigan about the time that I needed it, which was perfect because I live in Michigan. And so I did go out of state to see some other doctors, but I just felt very confident that he would be able to do what I was looking to have done.
And with your experience that you had, that was one negative experience, will you still do some non-invasive procedures in the future? Will you still keep doing it?
Absolutely, yes. You know, I really feel that, you know, as you get older, you definitely do show your age a little bit. You get tired looking, and there are lots of things that can help you with that. You know, Botox can help with the little lines between the eyebrows that we get when we're squinting all day, and fillers can help with some lines that you have from, you know, loss of volume. So yeah, I definitely think that there's a lot of safe things out there that you can do, but just to be careful, you know.
Yeah, and the message to me is also I mean, and I think you're comfortable doing it, but learn about why you're doing it and be comfortable with yourself. I think that's the key.
Yes.
The relationship you have with yourself has to be very important. You know, how you look and what these procedures do for you cannot define who you are. It's really important. You know, I think that if you do all those things, then I think you can make those informed choices. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Partha Nandi, and if you enjoyed that video, you're going to love the next one. It's full of incredible information to help you start your health hero journey.